I wasn't expecting to love the Lexus RX 500h as much as I do. To me, a Lexus RX is one of the most normal luxury vehicle choices on the road. And when you're passionate about a topic like cars, human nature is to crave something unique, not something you see every time you leave the house. But that human nature can overshadow an important point, that when people buy an item in droves, sometimes there really is something to it. And with the Lexus RX, there is.
This is the 2025 Lexus RX 500h F-Sport Performance All-Wheel Drive. That is a lot of words, and I am Alanis King. Let's go for a drive and stick around for the end of this video to get this RX's full report card. The Lexus RX debuted in 1998 as the RX 300, and that model had a 3-liter V6 engine that made 220 horsepower. Sometimes the numbers in these RX names stand for the engine, like a 300 is a 3-liter and a 350 is a 3.5-liter. But sometimes they don't stand for the engine because this RX 500 does not have a 5-liter V8. Now, the letters will always stand for something though. Lexus takes model names and turns them into acronyms, like an LS is a luxury sedan, an LC is a luxury coupe, and an RX is a radiant crossover. The Lexus RX has been through 5 generations since, and this is the 5th. In the 2025 model year, the RX starts at about $50,000 American dollars, and that model has 275 horsepower and front-wheel drive. From there, we can add all-wheel drive, a hybrid powertrain, a plug-in hybrid powertrain, or anything else. When I am on the Lexus USA website, there are so many speccing options for this vehicle. You open the page and there are 19 different trim combinations. That's just your starting spot. From there, you get to choose colors and materials and upgrades and all kinds of stuff like that. It's a lot of Lexus RXs. The Lexus RX is Toyota North America's top Lexus seller by a lot. In 2024, Toyota North America reported selling about 120,000 Lexus RXs, and the next best seller in the Lexus lineup was the NX at about 75,000 models. Everything else was well under 50,000. And the interesting thing is, Lexus sells 12 different models on that sales sheet in North America, and this makes up a third of all sales. It makes sense too. My mother has one, my mother-in-law has one, everybody has one, and it's honestly a pretty good choice. This 2025 Lexus RX 500h has a turbocharged 2.4-liter 4-cylinder engine and a hybrid system that together make 366 horsepower and 406 pound-feet of torque. That power goes through a 6-speed automatic transmission to all 4 wheels because this is all-wheel drive. Lexus says a rear electric motor and inverter send near instantaneous power to the rear wheels. And if you need to stop that power, you have 6-piston aluminum front brake calipers. And fun fact, the final assembly point on this vehicle is Canada. This Lexus RX 500h has a really nice interior, and it also has some really cool features. My favorite of all of them was the other day. I was driving and I had lane centering on the highway, and I realized that I did not have to squeeze or tug or do anything to the wheel to tell the car that I was still there and still paying attention. In a lot of cars, when you use lane centering, the car actually requires you to put in some kind of input every once in a while to tell it that you're paying attention. But that's redundant in my opinion because the car is watching your eyes and your body language to make sure you're watching the road, so to give an input doesn't make a lot of sense. When a car has a capacitive wheel, however, all you have to do is keep your hand on the wheel. That means no pressure, no additional inputs, and it's awesome. A couple of other things I really like is that when you're talking on the phone in this car, someone on the other end would have no idea that you're in a car. They would have no idea they were even on speakerphone because the microphones are so good. And the last really cool feature is that these cup holders have a little button that says push. And when you push that button, the front cup holder, you can push it down. And then you push it again and it comes back up. So that allows you to have flexibility with different sized cups. If you have a coffee cup, you can have a shallow cup holder. If you have a really tall cup, you can make it deeper so you don't hit it. Another really cool feature you'll see with modern cars and modern luxury cars is that you'll have power openings for a trunk, a frunk, maybe even some doors, whether those power openings come with the push of a button or the kick of your foot. These systems are so cool and so convenient that they actually become part of my everyday life. So when I drive or review a car that does not have a power opening, at least when you press a button, I get really confused that I have to lift it up. These systems are so good that they just get integrated in what we do every day. And our partner, automotive supplier Magna, makes a lot of them.
Systems like Magna's power frunk and trunk openings are called mechatronics because they blend mechanical functions with electronic control systems. These mechatronic systems range from power trunks to power doors and latching systems. And Magna's Smart Access power door system can be seen on the opposing rear doors of the Ferrari Purosangue. When automakers use one of Magna's Smart Access systems like a power frunk, they get a fully integrated system that includes latches, hinges, power spindles, drive units, software, and control units. That system results in a high-speed opening of the frunk using gesture, voice, or tactile inputs, as well as keeping people safe with anti-pinch and pedestrian protection features.
I absolutely love learning about the technology that Magna makes because it teaches me more about the cars that you and I drive every single day. And if you want to learn more about it too, you can check out Magna online or on their social media channels. This 2025 Lexus RX 500h F-Sport Performance all-wheel drive has a starting price of $64,800 American dollars, and this specific one has a bunch of different options. The first of those options is a $1,670 convenience package, which has a panoramic view monitor and traffic assistance features. The next is a $1,230 heated and ventilated power rear outboard seats package, then an $1,160 Mark Levinson audio system, a $150 power rear door with kick sensor, $500 premium paint, a $475 technology package with a digital rearview mirror and digital key, a $150 cargo carpet mat, $460 illuminated door sills, and more. After options and fees, the total price of this Lexus RX 500h comes to $72,389 American dollars. And that's a lot of money, but honestly, when I saw the window sticker, I was expecting it to be way more. Before we drive the 2025 Lexus RX 500h, it's time for my favorite question, which is, how many Alanis's fit in this Lexus RX's trunk? Now, while I get in, I want to quickly talk to you about the key to this car. The key on this car, it's not the nicest key in the world. The material could be a little less plasticky, but it's way better than a traditional Toyota key, which is super thick and big. I think Toyota could benefit from switching to something like this. Uh-oh, here we go. Now, the roofline on this RX makes this a little tight, but I'm still going to give it a solid 2 Alanis's. It's time to drive the Lexus RX 500h. And before we talk about driving this car, I want to talk about what it's like to be in here and live with this vehicle. Immediately, what you notice when you get in this thing is that it is so nice. It's well styled and materials are great. I am driving a Lamborghini Urus back to back with this vehicle. We have them double booked. We have both of them in the driveway, and I have been driving both of these vehicles for the last 5 hours. And when I switch in between the Lamborghini and the Lexus, there's not a massive difference in how I feel about the quality. In some ways, the materials in here, there are certain materials that are actually better than some of the materials in the Urus. This really, really holds up well, especially for its price point against much more expensive vehicles. And for example, materials-wise, the bottoms of the doors in this vehicle are soft. And in basically every vehicle that has ever been made, at least on the American market, when you feel the bottoms of the doors, it is hard, nasty, hollow sounding plastic, because those are high touch points, right? And they're also not places that you see. So automakers are going to put the cheapest material possible. This is soft. It's wild. Also, instead of piano black in our center console area, we have this graphite metallic-y pinstriped material. And this material isn't the thickest, most thunky material in the world, especially for the quality of the interior, right? It sounds kind of hollow and kind of thin, but it looks great, and it's also not going to show dirt and scratches and wear like piano black will. Now, I will say there is a little bit of piano black on the inside of this car, but it's not much at all. We have some piano black on the buttons right here, and then we have some piano black around the vents. And basically the issue with piano black is always the same issue. It gets dusty, it gets dirty, it gets scratched. But at least most of the piano black in this vehicle is in areas that you're not going to scratch, aside from these buttons. That's a little worrisome. We have a really simple dashboard design in this car, and it looks elegant. But the thing that I notice the most are the overhangs. There are just little overhangs on the dash that look like a mid-2000s Honda Civic. And that was a really good design, right? Like, it was simple, and it had a bunch of overhangs, and it looked like it had depth to it. And so does this car. I actually really like it. It's nostalgic. We also have buttons on the steering wheel that are not labeled on the steering wheel, but then as soon as you start touching them, the buttons come up on the screen and they tell you what they mean. So I have my thumb on this one button and it says following distance. I change it to another button and it says driving assist mode. Then I can go to the other set of buttons over here. It's a call button, it's a skip button, stuff like that. And what's cool about this is the fact that you're pressing it, like you can still press it. They're physical buttons, they're also capacitive, and they come up on the screen to tell you what they are. So there's the ability to customize that, right? I usually don't like capacitive buttons. I don't like unlabeled stuff. Tell me what the stuff does. But if I have the buttons immediately come up on the screen and tell me what they do, and there's potential to customize them eventually with that technology, I'm down. I can deal with it. A couple of other things to mention in this Lexus RX 500h. There are no physical climate controls except for some dials that you have to control the temperature. If you are doing your seat heaters, your seat coolers, your steering wheel heater, anything like that, you're on the screen, including the fans, everything. And here's the deal. I usually absolutely hate screen controls. I want physical controls for my climate. But I will say that if you're gonna have screen controls, this is probably the best way to do it because these controls stay stationary on this screen. So they're always there, you always access them, you don't have to do an extra click to get to them. And if we're gonna put them on the screen, this is the best way to do it. Even still, just give me buttons, please, please, please. Now, I mentioned seat heaters and seat coolers in the front. In addition to that, in the front, we have USB-C chargers and a USB-A port as well, in case you're still on an old charging method. In the back, we also have seat heaters and seat coolers. And most of the time in vehicles, even the most luxurious vehicles you can get in, you don't get seat coolers in the back. You only get seat heaters, right? The fact that you can cool your seats back there is awesome, and it shows that the backseat experience is valued in this car. That is a comfortable back seat. That back seat has features. You can charge your phone, you have the USB, you have everything like that. It works pretty well, and it shows that this vehicle is meant for everyone to sit in it. It is not just meant for two people to sit in the front and then occasionally you throw someone in the back. This is a vehicle that focuses on everyone, and that's great. I have two more things I want to mention about the comfort and livability of this Lexus RX 500h before I talk about driving. One of those things is you're not going to have a ton of headroom in here, especially if you're taller, right? I would say the upper limit's going to be about 6'2", 6'3". This is very common in Toyota and Lexus products. There's just not enough headroom for like really tall Americans. I don't understand why, because these vehicles are very popular over here, but it's going to be a tight squeeze if you're on the taller side. The last thing I want to mention is another logistical size thing. The seat bolstering for an SUV is very aggressive in here. Like I said, I have been switching between this and the Lamborghini Urus, and the bolstering is so much stiffer and more narrow in this car than it is in the Urus. Now, it's not the most stiff, most aggressive bolstering you're ever gonna have. It's not a Civic Type R, but it does squeeze you. So if you have a body type where you get squeezed by seat bolstering, sure, it can be great on the good roads where it holds you in. But is it going to be the most comfortable for everyday driving or long drives? Maybe not. Now let's talk about driving the Lexus RX 500h, and I want to talk about normal driving circumstances first. In normal driving, this car is so quiet. There's barely any road noise. There is barely any wind noise. And also we have a lot of great sight lines, especially up front. I can see everything in front of me. My rearview mirror, very easy to see out the back of this car. And if you ever have any issues seeing out the back, you just pop that rear view mirror into camera mode and you have an even wider field of view. The only sightline issue I have in this car is when I look over my left shoulder, because if you watch this channel a lot, you know that I always look over my left shoulder before changing lanes, just in case the technology doesn't warn me and there's not a beep over there. When I look over this left shoulder, the pillars really start stacking up, so you'd have to look a couple of times to make sure you had a clear sightline back there, just because it is a little bit blocked. Now, in terms of long driving distances and driving on the highway, this car gets 27 miles per gallon in the city, 28 miles per gallon on the highway, 27 combined, and has 464 miles of range. It also takes premium gas, which is unfortunate because I love a crossover or SUV or normal car that takes regular gasoline, because regular gasoline is a lot cheaper, but you're not getting that in this car, and you're gonna get about 27 combined. Another cool thing to mention about normal driving situations is that because this Lexus RX 500h, it is all-wheel drive, but the platform it's on is a front-wheel drive platform, right? This is not a rear-bias, rear-wheel drive platform that's been made into an all-wheel drive car. So because of that, we don't have a big, giant transmission tunnel area right here taking up a ton of space. So we get a deeper center console, which is really nice because I can fit my giant water bottle in there so it's not rolling around while I talk to y'all. A cool thing about the center console too is that I can open it up from my side, the driver's side, or I can open it up from the passenger side. It has hinges on both sides. The only thing you can't do is open both sides at the same time. You have to have one hinge on there, but I can access it, the passenger can access it, and we're all good. All right, now let's talk about fun driving. The first thing I want to mention is that when you're changing your driving mode, just like when you're doing anything else in this vehicle, it's on the screen. I love having a physical driving mode button or stalk or anything like that, but you don't get that in this vehicle. You have to click the little vehicle button on the screen, and then you have to change your mode between normal, sport, eco, and custom. The good thing about it is that it is very easy to access. It is one button away. All you have to do is click that little vehicle on the screen. The bad thing is it's not a physical button, and that makes me very sad. But something that doesn't make me very sad is the fact that the pedals on this vehicle move with the steering wheel, and that is fantastic, because when you're driving a car, you don't want to have to reach for a paddle that stays stationary. When the paddle moves with the wheel, if you're using the paddle shifters, you have it right there at your fingertips at all times. That means you're shifting faster. You know where the paddles are because your hands are on them. It's great. I love when the paddle moves with the wheel. Now, this is an all-wheel drive car, but it drives like a front-wheel drive car. There is a lot of understeer. Everything feels mega front-wheel drive in this car, and it just feels super heavy, right? You can make front-wheel drive cars and all-wheel drive cars feel balanced. This doesn't have that balance. You put it in the corner and you have to really fight it to get it to turn, because it just wants to understeer so badly like a front-wheel drive car. And I wish it had more balance. I wish it could take corners better, where I didn't have to just really throw the wheel to the side to get it to turn. The body roll in this car is actually pretty well managed, especially for how heavy we are and how high up we are. But when you go into a corner, the turn-in is so slow. This is not a point and shoot kind of steering experience. It is a turn-in, fight the wheel, and then you just understeer so badly, and you hit the edge of the grip and the tires squeal a little bit, and you hit the edge of the grip so suddenly, and it just, oh man, and you're not even trying that hard, right? And you just start to slide because understeer, man, understeer. This car is extremely heavy. It is 4,700 pounds and it feels extremely heavy. You can't hide weight when you're this high up and you're this heavy. So you put it in a corner and you're like, oh, wow, we are taking a lot of weight around that corner. I didn't even take that corner fast, but I could still just feel it. Even at low speeds, you just feel the weight of the car. You cannot hide it. The gas pedal in this car is immediately responsive. The brakes have very good tension and the brake pedal is consistent all the way through. There aren't soft spots. It doesn't have this really harsh initial bite and then let up. It's just very tense the whole way through and it stops the car well. The power is also super adequate in this car, right? This doesn't have to be the fastest car in the world. All you want is adequate power and you want it to sound a little fun, you want to have a little fun, and this car does exactly that. But even with adequate power for what it is, you can just tell that the Lexus RX 500h is trying to be something it isn't. It's an F Sport. It's supposed to be fun and sporty and it has a red interior, so obviously it's fast, right? And yeah, it's powerful enough, but you just feel all of the weight and the center of gravity so well. And I think the thing with an SUV like this is, or any kind of car like this, is the fact that this isn't supposed to be the sportiest driving experience in the world. It's supposed to trick people into thinking it will be. The normal car buyer, they want to get in this car and they want to feel special and sporty and cool, and a red interior and F Sport badges and all of that will do that for them. Even if it's not really the truth, sometimes illusion is what matters, and this will be a good enough illusion for most people. It's just not quite a good enough illusion for me. Now that we've driven the 2025 Lexus RX 500h F Sport Performance All-Wheel Drive, that is still a mouthful. It's time to give it a grade. Welcome to Alanis's report card. The exterior on this car gets a B. I think it's kind of anonymous. It's definitely more anonymous than the last one, whether you liked that big grille or not. And there are a bunch of fake vents on the outside. But other than that, it's totally fine. The interior is a straight up A. It is so comfortable in there. The materials are so nice. And I can get out of the Lamborghini Urus, which costs $340,000, and into this car, which costs $73,000, and it's still really, really good. The performance gets a B, and I think the performance gets a B just because this is advertised as sporty, and the performance to me isn't sporty. But if you're taking it on long road trips or you're just commuting in it, which is what a lot of people will do, it is fantastic. The value gets an A, and I know you're gonna say, Alanis, it's $73,000. But again, I get out of a Lamborghini Urus and into this car, and this car is still really, really nice compared to that. So that's a pretty good value. Would I take it on a road trip? Yes, 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 yes. It is so comfortable. The only knock is you don't get the best fuel mileage. You're gonna get like 25 miles per gallon, but that's totally fine. Overall, this is an A-. It would actually be higher in a lot of categories if it weren't advertised as sporty, but you know, you gotta get people's attention somehow.
The Lexus RX is truly a great vehicle. The quality is good, the styling is good, the materials are good, the driving experience is also good. You and I can look at popular vehicles all we want and say that they're a sea of the same, but sometimes sameness gets the job done. I guess that's why I've had an iPhone for half of my life now.
I will not leave my week with the Lexus RX 500h F Sport Performance All-Wheel Drive thinking about the performance. I will leave thinking about how good and well-styled and well-upholstered this car is, and just how overall incredible of a driving experience it is. And I think that's the goal. The F Sport Performance badge is to get your attention, and then the car is there to keep it. You'll go, well, it's not the sportiest thing in the world, but it's really, really good. And that's why so many people buy a Lexus RX every single year.